Welcome back to Close Up. Advocates here in New Hampshire say they were surprised to learn the number of homeless veterans here in the Granite State is unexpectedly on the rise. So what's being done and where are their success stories here in our state? We're joined now by David Tilley. He is the Director of Veteran Services for Harbor Care. David, thanks for being with us this morning.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Steve.
So let's talk about these numbers. For a long time, even though the homelessness rate in the Granite State was increasing, when it came to homeless veterans, that was staying flat, which was pretty impressive. What has changed?
Yeah, that's right. Really, since historically, veterans have had a higher percentage in the homelessness numbers, in part due to the scars of their service, both physical as well as mental, including post-traumatic stress and trauma. But back in about 2008, HUD and the VA got together working on this, where HUD provided the housing and the VA provided the wraparound supportive services with partners like Harbor Care, and we saw that homelessness numbers dropped in half.
Wow.
And prior to coming to Harbor Care, when I was at HUD in 2019, we also saw a 20% reduction in veteran homelessness, and even in Manchester, where we visibly, see the challenges of homelessness, we saw veteran homelessness drop by 30%. Through the COVID period during the pandemic, thanks to COVID assistance and aid, we were able to keep those numbers flat and even, while other areas of homelessness went up. We were able to keep those numbers flat.
So David, what I'm hearing is that through some really challenging times, you guys were seeing major progress. And now we're seeing these numbers start to slightly increase. And what do you attribute that to?
Part of it, and this is very recent, just this spring in the numbers, the numbers had been around 110 to 120 veterans experiencing homelessness.
Statewide?
Statewide.
Okay.
And even in those numbers, for example, right now we have 72 veterans that are in our transitional housing at Harbor Care in Manchester and Nashua. So in those homelessness numbers, we actually, these folks have an apartment, they've got wraparound supportive services, they're getting assistance to moving into permanent housing and a bright future.
Yeah.
But where the numbers have been going up is after the COVID funding ended, a lot of extra assistance and help, and even some of, like for example, the eviction moratorium, we've seen those numbers go up at first as much as over 160, but thanks to Harbor Care, our partners, the VA, and a rapid response, we have the number of veterans right now is roughly around 140. So again, it's on the short term, and we're hoping that this is, and striving that this isn't long term.
And are we seeing geographically, are there particular areas of the state that are getting hit harder by this than other areas?
Well, in general, the southern tier of the state is challenging, with a less than 1% availability for housing units. Yeah. That's very, very challenging. We're from our summit that we had on ending veteran homelessness, at New England College with all of our partners. One of the key efforts was really reaching out and having a goal of getting more units available, more landlords on board. We've got a challenge of housing 50 veterans by Veterans Day that came out of the summit, but it's tough in the southern tier, where it's just a really tight housing market.
Oh yeah, the numbers you hear broadly speaking are that the state needs about 20,000 housing units just to meet current demand for what would be a healthy market. So clearly that's a challenge, not just in the veteran space, but also statewide. So how does that affect the complications for you guys when you have this wraparound services already helping, the transitional homes, getting to these permanent housings? How do you get the vets into permanent housings when we're having such like you said, a limited number of vacancies?
Yeah, that's right. And and we're proud with our team and again our partners, but our team at Harbor Care. Just this past year alone, we've housed 215 veterans now into permanent housing, and we also helped. look at and work with helping veterans holistically, not just on housing and homelessness, but we also help with jobs and vocational rehab, have a health and wellness center with helping with if there's issues on addiction or any health issues. So we're there for that veteran period through that challenges, and we help them with navigating getting a landlord on board, lining up landlords.
Because as you point out, it's not just housing that's leading to this issue where we see increased homelessness among the veteran population.
Right. No, it's not just that, but it's the challenges when we work with and help a veteran. The veterans that we serve, most have never experienced homelessness in their lives. It's very traumatic to go through, and it's life circumstances that various ones. We've got a veteran, Christina, who we helped with. She had served proudly as a young Marine, and after service she had a promising career after, but found she was suffering with post-traumatic stress. And after she had experienced then a panic attack, she ended up losing her job, couldn't pay for her rent. She sought help from us, found out later too she was going to have a baby, and but that her baby, now her young son, had helped really change her life, get that help. We helped with the mental health support. She's now working, has an apartment in Nashua, and so there's different situations that lead an individual to homelessness. Some like that were the scars of their services. We've got another veteran though, Graham, who's also with us. His circumstance was for 30 years he was self-employed contractor, successful carpenter, businessman, and his situation was that his mother got diagnosed with dementia, and her situation declined. He was spending a lot to be able to get her into long-term, and then he ended up diagnosed with cancer himself, and he had type A diabetes and had a wonderful service dog, and the service dog had also passed, so really challenging times. And he we were connected with Graham, and now he's cleared of cancer. And
so
God bless.
That's where Harbor Care comes in. Is you guys just, you always talk about, you do these wraparound services that holistically help folks. I did in our last minute here or so want to ask you about Nashua, because that's a real success story for Harbor Care. You guys point out in 2017 you effectively ended veteran homelessness in the city. What do you attribute that to?
Well, actually, tremendous partnerships. It certainly wasn't us alone. The city of Nashua, the VA, the continuums of care working on homelessness, all work together on effectively ending veteran homelessness, which is a very high national standard that it doesn't mean a veteran may never be homeless, but it means that we have a system in place that should they become at risk, that they're quickly into housing and then into permanent housing with the supports they need, so it's non-recurring. And Nashua has consistently met that standard since, and we're striving to do that with our partners statewide.
And we hope we get there. David Tilley, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.